A transformative leader is a person that values recognition, respect for all individuals in order to create a world that is socially just, equitable, and democratic. They achieve this by espousing the Freudian dialogue elements, namely humility, faith, hope, critical thinking, and solidarity, to transform academic performance and achieve social impact with the educational institution stakeholders. This research project aimed to identify a transformative educational leader, Claire Jackson Bernardo, that affected academic and social change with Boston Media House Santon. The interview audio recording was used to sketch a narrative about the respondents' transformative leadership. The institution is plagued by misperceptions of their students as superficial and that the students attract a negative image to the community of Parkmore. In the video, 3 interventions are depicted that was undertaken by Claire to address these challenges through her interventions and guidance for students at Boston Media House to become social, critical, active citizens. A qualitative research approach was utilized for the study, which allows for rich and detailed information about the transformative educational leader. One form of qualitative research that captures an understanding of humans' behavior's complexity is in-depth interviews, Newman 2000. Claire was the best candidate to invite for the interview, based on the researcher's understanding of the research project scope, a familiarity with the interviewee and her initiatives, and familiarity with the literature regarding transformative leaders and the Freudian dialogue. An in-depth interview with a semi-structured questionnaire was developed based on the literature. The researcher interviewed Claire virtually through MS Teams. During the interview, an audio and visual recording was made to capture Claire's response, who was also given consent to conduct and record the interview for this research project. Claire has been in the media industry for over 25 years. Claire has worked as a producer, scriptwriter, and director in the television industry. She then spent 5 years heading up the publicity department at Ster-Kinekor before starting an own company, Alerting the Media, a boutique communications and public relations consultancy focusing on lifestyle and entertainment PR. She decided that she did not want to be a bystander anymore, but wants to play a role in building the future of South Africa. Claire has lectured public relations for 11 years at Boston Media House.
That my career and my lecturing have now combined together to become a hobby, a passion, a life. Every moment of my life is combined with both those things. And that's probably, if I look back, as one of my highlights, is the day that I stood in front of a group of young people and realized the power that I had to kind of make change and to be involved in change.
Boston Media House is a privately owned provider of higher education and training located in South Africa. It was established in 2002 to provide occupationally relevant education. It has 3 delivery sites in Sandton, Pretoria, and Durban. The student population is reflective of the South African diversity, with the majority of students black. This is also reflected in the lecturers, of which the majority is contract workers.
For me, it is an energy-filled creative media house. And energy in terms of the students, and energy in terms of the lecturers and the staff, and the passion that everyone has.
The image of Boston is one more concerned with material and superficial concerns while ignoring the stark realities of its students, community, and country. Boston has received massive critique from the Parkmore community as predominantly young black people moving into the community, which has led to more informal shops being opened, taxis driving, and drug dealers. There has also been a surge in crime statistics. The Parkmore residents do not view Boston Media House and the students to bring positive contributions and image to the community.
My parents made me very aware that I was privileged and that I had anything when it came to education or anything that I wanted at my fingertips. And I think that has kind of shaped me who I am, that I have been very aware of the fact that I've been privileged.
Claire recognizes the community's material realities outside her life, the first step towards Freudian leadership, also recognizing that the playing field for rich and poor students is unequal. Archambault and Garon, 2013, Miller, Brown and Hobson, 2011, Shields, 2010. She is thereby illustrating Bronfenbrenner's social ecology theory that students' development and achievements are assisted or hindered by the complex interplay between their immediate and larger environments. Bronfenbrenner, 2013. She engages in proactive, courageous discussions with her students, humbly, openly, and ready to listen about who they are and the challenges they are faced with, Hobson 2014, Miller et al. 2011, thereby starting the process of developing what Freire 1970 refers to as critical conscientiation, engaging in educative practices that incorporated the theory of public relations with action and reflection to achieve social change and justice, Brennan 2016. As a culturally responsive educator, she has the courage and willpower to discuss uncomfortable topics while accepting her own discomfort, Dodge and Van Wyk 2014. She encourages her students to discuss any topic as long as it's respectfully and professionally. Echoing humility is an element of the Freirean dialogue, Miller et al. 2011. Claire uses storytelling as an insightful tool, an asset for more significant teaching and learning in a class, to understand her students and allow other students to understand each other's indigenous context. Guardo and Casperata 2008, Soto 2014.
I see that you are a young black South African. I see that you are a coloured South African. And by seeing who you are and by saying to them, I see you, I'm acknowledging their heritage. I'm acknowledging the struggles that they have had. I'm not putting them all in a box. And so by telling everyone in class that we are all different and we should be proud of how different we are. If you are a proud Zulu man, then be a proud Zulu man. I recognize you and I see you for who you are. Introduce all new groups by saying that no topic is taboo in my classroom. There is no xenophobia, there's no bigotry, there's no racism, there's no sexism.
Claire echoes Giroux 1998 in confirming that she provides an active voice to her students in their academic journey as a transformative intellectual leader. She encourages and finds mechanisms for her students to engage politically to change their world to be more socially just, calling for political engagement, Miller et al. 2011, thereby acknowledging Fraser's three-dimensional model for understanding and approaching justice matters, where political issues are not distinct from students' struggle in achieving an equitable life, Kiri 2012.
So for me, as an educator, and I'm looking at purely as an educator, I look at it as a way to get students to find their voices, to get them to use their voices and to see that the power they actually have if they talk.
She challenges her students to identify social problems within their community, guide them and be guided by them to find potential solutions to these problems, Miller et al. 2011. As a result of this, she employs Freire's 1970 problem-posing education in a classroom as a practice of freedom grounded by dialogical praxis, Dade 2018. She does so as she firmly believes that the students can use their contextual expertise to center their advocacy for social transformation far better than she or their parents can do, thereby demonstrating humility, faith, and critical thinking elements of the Freirean dialogue, Miller et al. 2011. Here, Claire's transformative leadership is focused on a cultural, sensitive, and locally based approach, recognizing the individual's experiences, identity, and power relations, Ford 2005.
I think one of the best examples is, for 3 or 4 years, students approached me and said, why does the Gautrain not have student discounts? And for 3 or 4 years, I kept saying to students, why aren't you asking them? Why aren't you asking them? And then one year we decided to ask them. And although the results were incredibly negative, the learnings were so positive that students learned that by going onto social media and by asking for change, by being honest about change that they wanted in an organization, they ended up with the head of the communications department coming and sitting with them. The discussion went pear-shaped, and we all know how it did, but it showed students that if there is something that you are passionate about, you've got to be able to do something about it. And so for me, when it comes to social justice, it's about doing it. It's about you have a voice. Don't be scared to use it. Don't be scared to talk out loud.
As a transformative leader, Claire has used the Public Relations-Free Corporate Social Investment CSI project as a transformative project with ameliorative intentions, Soto 2014. Here the final year students are responsible for devising, crafting and executing a CSI project on behalf of our institution. They are collectively responsible for choosing the non-profit organization, NGO, that would benefit from this project based on their community. It places the voices of students and leaders of an NGO with the community in conversation to understand better issues of activism and social justice that can be served through community initiatives connecting students and NGOs.
So over the years, we have donated over 5,000 books to a library in Soweto. We've raised, I think, over 10,000 or collected over 10,000 cans of food for 2 different charities. We've planted a vegetable garden. It wasn't just about going to a school and planting a vegetable garden. The students put a whole campaign together to teach the school students or the students at the school all about vegetables.
In this project, Claire is displaying Freudian dialogue elements of humility and solidarity, where she acknowledges that her students might be better equipped to provide the answers and that they are ready to work together in unity to find solutions. Miller et al. 2011. As part of the project, they also have to engage the rest of the institution's community through education and fundraising initiatives for the NGO. This also highlights the importance of building and maintaining relationships with various individuals, a feature of critical feminist pedagogy, Webb and Allen 2002.
And I think the most important thing is our surrounding stakeholders in our community are very much involved in all our CSI campaigns. And I think that's helped build relationships with the community. You know, oftentimes people see young people walking around, going to campus, and there's all the misconceptions about drugs and students not caring. And then all of a sudden a group of students come to a business and say, this is what we're working on. So it's helped change mindsets and it's helped to build greater community relations, which I really enjoy. And then the one campaign that sticks out for me on how it completely changed students' mindsets was the campaign that we did for the Guide Dog Association. And this year the students decided to raise money to buy 2 guide dogs, to give 2 guide dogs to blind South Africans. And to me, seeing these young kids sitting down with the puppies and seeing how the dogs were there to help the blind people that came through was just absolutely amazing. One student had never ever met a blind person before, and eventually she was the one guiding the guide dog and the blind person that came to the event around campus, giving them a tour. And afterwards she said to me, "Ma'am, I never knew how powerful words were until I realized that that's the only way I could communicate with this gentleman."
Has illustrated as a transformative intellectual leader that she rejects the traditional banking model of education, Freire 1970. She advocates for dialogical love in a class where she listens humbly with faith in solidarity with her students while promoting critical thinking and has a hope that they can achieve better possibilities.